Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered what goes on inside a woman's mind when she's quietly daydreaming about the kind of man she wishes she could have? Not the man she settles for, not the one she dates out of convenience, but the one who lives in the corners of her imagination, the one she fantasizes about when no one's watching. Most men will never know these fantasies exist because women rarely say them out loud. But tonight, I'm going to expose the 10 little fantasies women secretly want men to know, because understanding them changes everything about how she sees you, desires you, and bonds with you. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe and like this video. It helps more men discover the truth about female psychology that nobody dares to talk about. Now listen closely. The female mind is a paradox, soft yet strategic, emotional yet selective. Women often create mental movies that reflect what they crave emotionally but suppress publicly. They'll act composed, independent, unbothered, but their fantasies betray something much deeper. They aren't about wild or explicit scenes. They're emotional stories of connection, dominance, and desire wrapped in moments that feel both thrilling and safe. The first fantasy? It's being seen completely. Every woman secretly dreams of a man who notices what others overlook. How her tone changes when she's nervous, how she fidgets when she feels vulnerable, how her eyes light up when she's proud. When a man observes these details, he becomes unforgettable. You stop being just another face in her life. You become the man who makes her feel alive. The second, she wants a man who challenges her, not in an aggressive or arrogant way, but in a grounded, masculine energy that makes her feel like she can't predict what you'll say next. That unpredictability ignites her imagination. It keeps her emotionally engaged, even addicted. When you stop being too nice and start being authentic, she begins to feel both safe and intrigued. And that duality is electric for her. And the third fantasy? A man who protects her without controlling her. She doesn't want to be owned. She wants to be chosen, guarded, prioritized. When she feels that silent protection in your presence, her heart relaxes, her walls fall. And for a woman who's used to guarding herself, that's one of the most intoxicating feelings in the world. Every woman carries a secret story inside her, a love story she hasn't yet lived, but one she replays in fragments whenever she feels alone. It's not about diamonds or fame. It's about a feeling, a man who makes her feel seen, desired, and deeply safe all at once. The fourth fantasy is that she dreams of a man who listens differently, not the kind who waits for his turn to speak, but the one who hears what her words don't say. When a woman says, "I'm fine," what she often means is, "I'm scared you don't care." Most men miss this, but when you learn to listen with empathy, not ego, she experiences something rare. Emotional safety. And that safety, ironically, is what unlocks her most passionate side. The fifth fantasy is vulnerability. Yours. Many men think showing emotion is weakness, but in truth, women crave to see your unfiltered self. Not chaos, not neediness, but honesty. When you can admit, "Yeah, sometimes I'm afraid too," you become real. Authenticity hits deeper than perfection. It tells her, "You're safe to be human here." Women fantasize about that level of emotional intimacy far more than physical perfection. Because once she feels connected to your truth, she'll trust you in every other way. Then comes the sixth fantasy, being desired for who she is, not what she offers. Society has conditioned women to perform, to look, to please, to prove. But every woman secretly wants a man who makes her feel wanted simply because she exists. A look across the room, a quiet compliment when no one else notices, a "you're incredible" whispered when she least expects it. These moments make her melt because they tell her, "I see your soul, not your surface." But here's the irony. When a woman feels truly seen, she starts giving in ways she never planned to. Her nurturing side awakens. Her energy becomes magnetic. She starts building around your presence instead of merely reacting to it. That's when she begins to dream with you instead of just about you. And that's the point most men miss. Women's fantasies are not just about power or passion. They're about connection that feels like destiny. When a man taps into that, he stops chasing women. women start chasing him. The seventh fantasy is one that very few men ever embody, and yet it's the one that burns deepest in her subconscious. It's the fantasy of a man with quiet confidence, not the loud, performative bravado that tries to impress, but that calm, grounded energy that says, "I don't need to prove myself to anyone." That presence is magnetic. When a man walks into a room with stillness instead of noise, women feel it. She doesn't want a man who tries to dominate the room. She wants the one who owns his peace. Because peace, in a world full of chaos, is the ultimate sign of power. Now, the eighth fantasy is about mystery. Women may say they want transparency, but the truth, they crave discovery. She wants to feel like there's always another layer to you, something she hasn't quite figured out yet. When you reveal too much, too soon, you rob her imagination. But when you leave subtle clues, hints of depth, quiet moments of introspection, she starts to wonder. And wonder is the birthplace of attraction. The ninth fantasy, though, is far more primal. She dreams of a man who takes the lead without taking control. A man who decides with purpose, moves with intention, and respects her while doing so. When you say, "Don't worry, I've got this," and your tone carries certainty, she exhales, because she's tired of pretending she has to do it all alone. That small gesture, the way you guide, protect, and lead with grace, awakens something ancient in her. It tells her she can surrender, not out of weakness, but because she finally feels safe in your strength. And that leads to the 10th fantasy, the one most men never suspect. It's not about adventure, gifts, or even romance. It's about peace. Every woman secretly dreams of a man who gives her peace of mind, a man whose presence feels like coming home after a long, exhausting day. No games, no confusion, no emotional chaos, just that still, grounding energy that says, "You're safe here." Because deep down, every woman longs to be loved by a man who calms her storms, not adds to them. When you understand these fantasies, not as manipulation, but as insight, you stop chasing surface-level attraction. You start creating bonded desire, the kind that doesn't fade after a few dates, but grows stronger because she feels something most men never make her feel: understood. Understanding these fantasies isn't about pretending to be someone else. It's about becoming the kind of man who naturally awakens them. See, most men chase validation. They try to impress, to win approval, to earn her interest. But women don't fantasize about a man who begs for attention. They fantasize about a man who commands it effortlessly, because his focus is on purpose, not approval. When you stop performing and start living with clarity, she feels it. Confidence isn't taught through words, it's transmitted through energy. A woman's emotional radar is more sensitive than you realize. She can sense insecurity before you even open your mouth, but she can also feel authenticity. When a man's words, tone, and actions align, that's what triggers her emotional attraction. When your boundaries are clear, when you lead your own life with direction, when you make decisions that reflect your values, she sees a man she can trust, and that trust is the foundation of every fantasy she has about love. Let me tell you something real. The moment you stop chasing her and start choosing yourself, she starts to feel pulled toward you. It's not a trick, it's biology. When you value yourself, she subconsciously feels safe investing her emotions in you, because now your validation doesn't come from her, it comes from your own self-worth. That's the shift every powerful man makes. Here's what most men never hear. Women aren't waiting for the perfect man. They're waiting for a man who's emotionally steady enough to handle their imperfect sides. When she tests your patience, challenges your opinions, or withdraws emotionally, it's not because she wants to push you away. It's because she wants to see if you'll stay calm in her chaos. When you do, she relaxes. You become her emotional anchor, the man she can lose herself with because she trusts you'll never lose control. And that's the paradox. The more control you have over yourself, the more a woman wants to let go with you. The less you chase her, the more she chases you. The less you talk about what you'll do, the more she watches how you move. When you become that kind of man, quietly powerful, self-led, emotionally grounded, you stop being her fantasy. You become her reality. There's something profound about the moment a woman realizes she can't manipulate your emotions. Not because you don't care, but because you're centered. When you stop reacting to every mood swing, every test, every emotional wave, She begins to respect you on a level most men never reach. Respect for a woman is where desire begins. You can't force her to love you, but you can make her respect you. And once she does, her attraction grows naturally. See, a woman's fantasy isn't about dominance, it's about polarity. She wants to feel your masculine presence without losing her freedom. The right man doesn't suppress her emotions, he contains them. When she's anxious, he grounds her. When she's distant, he gives space without resentment. When she's passionate, he meets her intensity with calm assurance. That's the emotional dance that keeps her fascinated. It's the invisible chemistry of masculine and feminine energy in perfect rhythm. Most men chase the surface-level version of attraction, looks, validation, physical attention. But what truly binds a woman to a man is the emotional experience she has when she's with him. If being with you makes her feel more feminine, more alive, more emotionally open, she will crave you in a way she doesn't even understand. That's the essence of every fantasy she holds, the feeling of being able to surrender to someone strong enough to handle her softness. And let's be honest, modern dating has made women guarded. She's been disappointed, ghosted, played, or emotionally drained. So when she meets a man who doesn't flinch at her moods, who listens without judgment, who communicates instead of controlling, he becomes rare. The more emotionally mature you are, the more magnetic you become. Because emotional mastery is the most masculine thing a man can ever possess. The truth is, women don't want you to fix their emotions. They want you to feel safe within them. They want a man who doesn't get pulled into drama but knows how to stay present through it. That's what builds trust. And once she trusts your presence, her guard drops. That's when her fantasies start unfolding. Not because you forced them to, but because you created a space where she finally felt free to be herself. Here's the truth most men never hear. Every woman's deepest fantasy isn't about a man who conquers her. It's about a man who understands her without losing himself. The man who walks beside her, not behind her, not ahead of her. The man whose strength feels like protection, not pressure. When she feels that balance, something extraordinary happens. She starts giving you the kind of love most men will never experience. She becomes soft, feminine, loyal, deeply connected. That's not manipulation. That's emotional alignment. A woman's love is like water. It flows where it feels safe. But most men build dams instead of channels. They try to contain her, control her, or decode her like a puzzle. You don't need to do that. You just need to understand her emotional language. When she pulls away, she's not rejecting you. She's checking if you'll chase or stay calm. When she's passionate, she's not just being dramatic. She's showing you the depth of what she feels. When you respond with patience instead of panic, she feels something primal, trust. You see, trust is her ultimate fantasy, because in a world where women are constantly told to be strong, independent, and guarded, she secretly dreams of a man she doesn't have to be strong around. A man whose energy says, "You can rest here." That's why the most irresistible men aren't the richest or the best looking. They're the ones who make her feel emotionally safe enough to be vulnerable. Safety is the new seduction. But here's the twist. None of this is about changing for women. It's about becoming the man you were always meant to be. The kind who has emotional discipline, self-respect, and purpose. The kind who doesn't chase validation because he already knows his worth. And when you embody that, every woman who meets you feels something she can't explain. You'll be the thought she can't shake, the calm she returns to, the fantasy that finally feels real. So if this spoke to you, if you felt something shift inside you, then take a second right now to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because here we don't play games, we decode truth. I'll keep revealing the unspoken psychology of attraction, the kind that changes not just how women see you, but how you see yourself. Stay grounded, stay intentional, and remember, real power isn't loud, it's silent, calm, and deeply felt.